let's discuss the situation in a bit more detail with Professor Gulnur Aybet, the head of the International Relations Department at Boğaziçi University in Istanbul. I mean, on the face of it, yeah, Turkey caught really between a rock and a hard place. But are they also using this as a clever negotiating chip now, do you think, a bargaining chip with Europe?
No, I don't think so, because the original 3.3 billion that the EU gave was actually to alleviate only some of the burden that Turkey is already facing with the 2.7 million refugees it's already hosting. And the funds the EU have promised, which haven't come to Turkey yet, are actually less than half of what Turkey has already spent looking after the 2.7 million that are already here. So the understanding is that those funds were not and cannot meet the needs of taking in more refugees. So I don't think there is any issue here about bargaining.
A big falling out, of course, with Russia over the Russian airstrikes. That is a very complicated political issue to sort out. What about the demand or the request that Turkey had made years ago, actually, for a sort of cordon sanitaire as a passageway around Syria? Do you think they might be able to push for that now, perhaps, with more strength?
Well, Turkey actually asked for a no-fly zone and a safe area, as you mentioned, 3.5 years ago. And if that had somehow been put in place by the international community, then we would not be facing this problem now. And frankly, it's getting more and more difficult to implement both of those things since Russia entered the theater of war, nearly practically impossible. And at the moment, there's this corridor, the Azaz corridor, where these refugees are piling in. And if Aleppo falls, we're really talking about at least another 1 to 2 million people. That's a huge amount that would be trapped in that corridor. But there's also a national security concern here for Turkey. They simply don't want that corridor to disappear because it's in the hands of the opposition. Otherwise, it's going to face a 900-kilometer border that's just entirely controlled by the PYD, which supports the PKK, which is a terrorist group inside Turkey. And ISIS, and you know that's a real security concern for Turkey.
No, forgive me. Finish your point.
Yeah. No, sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. But there is a moral and a humanitarian obligation on Turkey, almost just in terms of the ethnic links with so many people across the border anyway in Syria. Just explain, though, the problems that Turkey has with its own unemployment rate, for example, and indeed expand just on those security concerns it has.
Yeah, I mean, the security concern is obviously, it's a very long border, and not having this contiguous strip entirely controlled by the PYD with a small strip that's still in the hands of ISIS. That would be a real, red line for Turkey. The other thing is, you're right. I mean, if more refugees come in, this is going to have a huge burden on Turkey. But there's also the moral and legal obligation, which Turkey has fulfilled more than any other country up till now. My guess is that eventually they will open the border, but not until they know exactly what the EU is going to do to support them if they have to take in more people, especially if Aleppo falls and we have a major humanitarian catastrophe, in which case you do need the entire international community to come on hands down on this, not just Turkey dealing with it on its own. And they would also need to do some planning. If they need to take in more people, where are they going to go and how are they going to cope with it? So until those two issues are clarified, I don't think that border is going to be opened.
All right, okay, Professor Gulnur Aybet, thank you very much indeed. Yes, some commentators remarking that if Aleppo were to fall, it would be the worst humanitarian crisis of the Syrian war so far.